54D, counsel, your appearance.
Peter Taylor, bar number 8688 for Mr. Balle, who's present.
And ma'am, your name, please?
Cynthia T. Balle.
And you're representing yourself today, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, you filed an opposition, and Mr. Taylor's just barely received a copy of it. I haven't had a chance to review it yet. I don't know. Apparently, it was filed on the 25th, but I don't know why it didn't come into our system until more recently. We have an issue where he indicates that the oldest child is residing with him, and he believes that the other children want to reside with him. Do you have any objection to having the children interviewed?
No. However, I would like to say that we went through all of this in length for a year and a half. We agreed to the stipulation order parenting plan. It was not ordered by you. There's been no change of circumstances, and this action on his part has to do with him trying to be relieved of his financial obligation due to a current lawsuit which he owes money on, and that is just the facts.
Well, the bottom line is, I'm going to have the children interviewed. The children's wishes, if they're not well-reasoned and articulated, don't mean anything to me. I don't care if the kids say they want to eat chocolate cake every morning for breakfast. They have to have a basis and a reasoning that the court can make a finding that it's in their best interest. The only reason I'm sending them down for the interview is just so I can ascertain if there are some issues, if there are some problems in either household. More often than not, what you get is children telling one parent one thing and children telling another parent another thing because they know that the two of you probably don't get along and probably don't communicate, and so they play you against each other to try and maximize their benefits going both ways. So I'm going to ask them some very general questions.
Your Honor, the oldest child, Petra, reached the age of majority now. Do you want to have her interviewed?
No, I'm not interested. She can, if it gets to the point, she can testify, but no.
I didn't think so. Just clarifying.
Yeah, it's just going to be Sebastian, Trinity, and Christian.
And Your Honor, I just wanted to put on the record that in my motion I did state this, that there has been a severe, on Mr. Balle's part, undermining my authority with the children. When it comes to behavior issues, if the children don't like something, they'll call him on the phone. They don't think they really have to listen to me, so it gets into a big hoopla and argument in our home over it. This has been going on pretty much since we walked out of the courtroom 4 years ago. And I've asked him repeatedly to refrain from interfering in my disciplinary actions with the children. Teenagers are pretty easy. If you take a cell phone or a car away, they usually straighten up. I've had continual arguments, which was brought up at our trial 4 years ago, where they will say, "Dad bought this for me, so you can't take it away from me." And
all right.
whatnot.
I'm going to have the kids interviewed. I asked some fairly general questions. Any concerns at either house or with either parent? Either parent talked bad about the other, undermine the other's authority, their preference for residence, and reasons for the same. So I'm going to sign that. What are we, July 2nd? We're going to come back from that interview on July 2nd. Now, so Mr. Taylor, have you been involved at all in your client's litigation with Allstate?
I was originally as party, and I settled out like a year or two ago.
You were a party?
I was a party.
So you guys all got sued together then?
Yes.
And so beyond that, do you have any knowledge of what the final disposition of the case against your client is?
I do not. I left the case years ago, a couple years ago.
And sir, is there some kind of a non-disclosure that prevents you from telling us what the outcome of the litigation was?
Yes.
Yes, there is?
There is.
All right. Do you have any pending action with any regulatory board or authority that prevents you from acting as a chiropractor?
Yes, I'm under investigation by the chiropractic board due to the outcome of the litigation.
And the actions that led to the investigation, did they occur prior to 2010?
I don't understand.
You being investigated for things that occurred prior to 2010?
Yes, since 2005.
At any time during your marriage, was your wife involved in the management or running of your business? All right. Mr. Anderson, briefly, if you want to make some argument as to the reduction.
Your Honor, I think right now the Child Support Division, they're looking back at the previous orders, and they advised Mr. Balle they were not able to make any sort of reduction because they thought it was sort of lump sum. They weren't considering it per child. And so right now, the support that they're trying to collect includes all 4 children, not all 3. So that's maybe the first issue. I know that doesn't make any sense at all.
How much so they're trying to collect the, what, 3,700?
Correct.
Yes.
It's 3,720.
Your Honor, he reduced the amount by 25% when my daughter turned 18.
What's he
On
under
his own.
what's he under an obligation to pay currently, ma'am?
I believe it's 28%. If it's changed.
Never 28%, ma'am.
Your Honor, can I
Do you
say
have a dollar amount that you think he's supposed to be paying?
The district attorney's office told me to go by the order that is current.
And what is that order? That's what I'm asking.
$37.80.
Huh?
$37.80 per month. It was not a per child order.
Thank you. Do you have any other, is that what it was for 4 children?
That's what it was for
No,
4
it wasn't.
children.
No, it wasn't.
No?
It's 3,720.
3720.
Yes.
Your Honor, my understanding is also that after she turned 18 and then moved in with the defendant, he continued to pay full support for about 3 months until she graduated from high school.
It was 2 months, and that's standard.
Ma'am? I can't retroactively modify any child support awards. So, do you have any income currently other than these residual business accounts?
I just started a business in February.
Doing what?
It's a weight loss center.
Do you have any net income yet from that business?
No, it just pays the overhead for the business, basically. If that, it doesn't even, because I don't even pay rent on the office space.
Is your license currently suspended?
No,
So you're able to work as a chiropractor.
I could, yes.
Have you made any efforts to find employment as a chiropractor?
Employment as a chiropractor pays $3,000 a month.
That's better than what you're making now, isn't
Well,
it?
here's the problem, though. No, because I still have the residual income. The problem is that I have this, my weight loss center that
Well,
I do.
according to what you told me in your sworn statement, that's more than what you're making from the residuals on your business now, isn't it?
Well, yes. But the problem is that being a chiropractor, my name doesn't, everything that I do, they put holds
It's a
on
big
me.
town.
Well, it's actually like the,
Once you lost the opportunity to bill insurance, insurance isn't paying any chiropractors in this town.
well, I was,
There's a small group of chiropractors that get insurances, right?
I never did health insurance, so it was motor vehicle accidents. It was,
Okay.
so I can't, no attorneys will work with me. I can't, my my name on documents just doesn't hold any weight anymore. That's why the residual income isn't even what it should be either, because they're not paying the full amounts of the settlements anymore because my name is
Based on the statements of the defendant, the court finds that he could generate an income of a minimum $3,000 per month. The court's gonna set child support at $870 per month. That is gonna be effective starting, geez, this motion was filed in November? No. When was this motion filed, counsel?
I don't have a copy of the motion on me, Your Honor.
All right, well, don't worry about it. We'll make it effective for May, June, July, August, September, and October. Commencing in November, commencing in November, the child support. Actually, I'm just going to set you a status check to come back in November. Give me a date in the beginning of November.
I may be making more by then with my, so.
Oh, I hope so.
Me too. I have no issues paying her if I'm making more money, I really don't.
November 4th, Your Honor, at 2:30?
Your Honor, so the 870 month is starting this month? Or
This
starting?
month, due on or before the last day of each month. Okay? During the next 6 months, sir, if you have any windfalls, increases in income or employment, you are affirmatively required to notify the plaintiff of that income and provide documentation reflecting the same. W-2s, copies of pay stubs if you're an independent contractor, whatever. The court is going to reserve jurisdiction to retroactively modify your child support if you fail to self-report. Now, once November comes around, the court's going to require that on or before the last day of, or on or before October, let's make it the 14th. I want each of you to file a new FDF with the income information and the verification attached. Pay stubs, copies of checks, whatever it is you have.
I only have bank statements.
Well, you're going to attach those then. For the record, sir, if your business is not generating as much income as you could be making working as a chiropractor, I'm going to go with, at a minimum, the income that you could be making as a chiropractor. Ma'am, you're in a precarious situation. You're, and I would advise that you seek legal counsel, because there's an argument to be made for willful underemployment. If his own actions have caused the decrease in his income, there's a legal theory that would entitle you to ask me to use his prior income to set the child support.
That's in my motion, I did ask for that.
Well, you have to spell out the legal authority, and you're going to have to provide some documentation. The court's going to open discovery during this period of time so that you can attempt to access records from the case with Allstate, files from the Chiropractors Board, so that you could document and prove that he's willfully underemployed or his willful actions have hindered his ability to generate an income.
I also have that and included that in my motion. His undisclosed settlement with Allstate Insurance, he filed this action the day after. And it is my fear that he is using whatever assets or income he does have to pay them off to keep him out of jail. His business partner and his employee are in federal prison right now. His father was involved, Andrew Taylor was involved, and he's behind over $9,000 in child support right now.
And you're saying this is all included somewhere in your pleadings?
Yeah, we mentioned it in the motion, and also he actually included it in his motion, the cover sheet, and I actually have what I could get. The records are sealed right now, so I couldn't get everything.
That's what I'm saying.
But I do know it was an undisclosed settlement with Allstate Insurance
File a
Company.
subpoena and ask me to sign it. I mean, even if they won't release it to you, they'll probably provide it to me for in-camera review.
I also included in there assets that he did not declare at the time of our trial.
Hold on a second.
And you did say that if you found out.
Hold
that-
on a second. Because I'm looking through your, I mean, I've got ADHD stuff. Is that your opposition?
He included
Is
it,
that your opposition?
that's an exhibit, a part of
Okay,
it.
yeah, I've got pages upon pages of,
There should be business license copies.
stop talking for a second and address me when I ask you a question, okay? So which one of these exhibits do you want me to look at? Because they don't seem to be numbered.
I believe there are 7 in total. And the business licenses should be between 1 and 4, I believe it is.
What is a business license going to show me?
And we included that because,
And I've got something from Anthem Forensics in 2009.
right, that was what he used to give basically what his net worth was. At that time, you said that if you had found out there were other assets he did not declare, you would consider those, if you did find out about those. And in his motion, he basically handed you proof that he had other assets at that time.
What did he have? I mean, what are you talking
The business
about?
that he wants you to reduce his income from, he wants you to reduce his payments from, he's using a business he did not even declare at the time of our trial.
He just stated he started the business in, what, February?
Oh, that's a new one, yes.
No. The Allstate Insurance Company, the business that was being sued from that, he did not declare that as a business and an asset at the time of our trial in 2009.
All right, well,
And there are 3 other business licenses at least that he did not make you aware of either. And the checks he had been paying me out of were for another business that he didn't even, that we can't even find a business license for, and
who's we?
my paralegal.
Well, you know that your paralegal is a paralegal and precluded from giving you any legal advice. All they can do is help with paperwork.
Right, that's
They
what I-
can't do any investigation. They can't do anything else. If they are, then they're violating the law. And maybe you ought to just bite the bullet and go hire an honest-to-goodness attorney who can give you some real legal advice and help you with this motion.
I would love that, but I do not have the funds for an attorney.
Well, you're going to have to do a better job than what you've laid out in this motion. If you want to refile the motion,
He has not even paid his alimony
Ma'am.
payment in 2 months.
ma'am, I mean, if you want to file a supplement to this motion and pinpoint what omitted assets there are or were from the decree, what legal authority I have to increase his income, I'm more than happy to entertain that. But if not, then we'll see you here on November 4th. All right, Mr. Taylor, you're going to prepare an order for me?
I will. Your Honor, one final thing. Mr. Balle did make a payment to the Child Support Division today in the amount of $2,000. I don't know if you want to have her credit him back the difference between the 870 or...
You're telling me that he doesn't have any arrears at all?
I do, she can just have that.
Okay,
I'll
yeah.
continue.
Your Honor, they're also collecting my alimony payments, which he is not making. He's in contempt of a court order right now that you handed down.
Well, ma'am, if you want me to hold him in contempt is my power and my authority, then you have to prove that he has the ability to pay and he's refusing to pay. That's what I'm saying. I don't see that there. If you want to file the documents that show me that he has the ability to pay you that alimony and he's willfully refusing to pay, I'm more than happy to do that. But
I have all my bank statements here. She wants to look at them.
At this point, Your Honor, the welfare division is gonna be paying for these children. He is so far behind. I have no income. I have an eviction notice. All the bills are behind. And yet, he's been sending the kids home with new shoes, clothes,
Right.
taking them out of town on the weekend, so he has something.
Well,
And it,
here, hand me that child interview.
and I do understand that the child support is, according to his income. We also have an order for the, rehabilitative alimony payments.
Hold on a minute. I'll ask the kids about his spending habits. As for the alimony, the court is not going to reduce the alimony at this point in time. However, the court will not entertain motion for sanctions or contempt unless you can demonstrate that he has the ability to pay. I'm going to leave that alimony in place. I'm not inclined to make that deviation at this point in time. The unpaid amounts at the end of the term will be reduced to judgment and contain bear interest and penalties at the lawful rate. Okay. All right. Anything else, sir?
I currently have that being collected by the district attorney's office also. I'm just in a situation where I am close to graduating right now. I have a student teaching block that I'm supposed to be doing at Palo Verde High School starting in the fall.
Okay.
And any student loans that I can get are based on my taxes. So last year he paid, now he's not paying. So I'm kind of in a bad spot unless he at least pays that.
Mm,
I mean, I have no income other than that.
okay.
I mean, having to quit at this point in my education is,
Well,
I can't get a license to teach without doing this portion of the education.
you're going to have an order and a decree that says that you're entitled to the funds. I can't do any more than that at this point in time. If you file a schedule of arrears, or I mean, you've probably got a judgment issued by the enforcement court.
Yes, I do.
So if you can find assets, you can seize them. You can go after that civilly. All right. Thank you very much. You'll prepare the order for me.
Well, Judge.
Thank you. Good luck.
The district attorney was waiting for an order from you before they said that they couldn't do anything until you.
Yeah, he's going to prepare that order, and as soon as I sign off on it, they'll start doing that.
Your Honor, so they need to take the children for down to Pecos.
They'll call and schedule the appointment.